Not For Fake TV.
How Martin Shkreli saved hip-hop. Well, where do we start? First off, people can beg for something for decades, and when they finally get it, they throw the cake right into the face of the person bearing gifts.
Pfizer, is this on purpose?
It's a little on purpose.
This is not a clickbait title. That's right, Martin Shkreli saved and solidified the value of rap and hip-hop music. He had to go to jail for it, and I'll explain exactly how.
Second, I hail from Brooklyn, the city of Brooklyn, New York. You and your cohorts may not be familiar with this provenance, but I assure you, I have seen and done things which the mere mention of would both frighten you and force you to reassess this situation.
This video has been on my mind for a long time, but the recent auctioning of the coveted one-of-one Wu-Tang album is a major development in this unprecedented event. And this information needs to be shared immediately. So let's get into it. This is a new episode of Black Businessman, How Martin Shkreli Saved Hip-Hop Music. Now Martin Shkreli is definitely a criminal. Well, there's no doubts about it. Even though his crimes aren't much different from the Robin Hood AMC fiasco. When you're not in the club, you're not in the club. Especially when you're actively trying to be a Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, I noticed we are right next to Pfizer. Is this on purpose?
It's a little on purpose. So I walk by here every morning. I go to work and I walk by Pfizer's quote-unquote world headquarters, and they don't have one lab in there. They don't have, any research going on. This company's cut billions of dollars of research, and they raise price all the time. In fact, they raised price on 100 drugs just last week, and nobody wrote anything about it. But so it's fun to kind of walk by here and simultaneously see like what I love and what I hate. I love drugs and how they can help people, but I also hate companies that are kind of hypocritical and full of shit, and Pfizer's a good example of a company like that. So
Martin, born in 1983, is a self-made street kid from Brooklyn, and he embodies this in every way. Working your way to the heights of American finance from lower middle class is no easy task. Born to immigrant parents from Albania, they worked as janitors to support his two sisters and brother in a working class neighborhood in Brooklyn, NY. This man knows struggle, hustle, and was raised in the mecca of hip-hop during its golden era. This was a witch's brew like no other. That created a hungry young man. At the age of 17, he was able to land an internship at a Wall Street hedge fund named Kramer Berkowitz and Company. And the rest is history. While at this company, he recommended short-selling stock of a pharmaceutical company which made his hedge fund millions of dollars. This in turn gave him a name and platform to start his financial empire that would eventually be shot down by the federal government.
Press conference at this hour after arresting Martin Shkreli. He's the pharmaceutical company CEO who achieved a lot of notoriety for hiking the price of a life-saving antiviral drug 5,000% on. Now he's being charged with unrelated allegations of securities fraud.
We turn now to who many are calling the most hated man in America, the drug company executive who became notorious for jacking up the price of a life-saving drug by more than 5,000%.
We've heard about Martin Shkreli a fair amount because he's been jacking up the price of those pharmaceuticals and also paying millions for that Wu-Tang Clan.
You know what?
This is
I just want to point out our show has been waiting for a week and a half to hear David Weston say Wu-Tang.
Earlier this month, Martin Shkreli tweeted, "I hate being in the news." Well, this morning he's back in headlines again, this time accused of fraud, a Ponzi scheme. But overnight, a representative for Shkreli issued a statement saying Ponzi victims did not make money, yet Mr. Shkreli's investors enjoyed strong results.
It's unrelated to the current drug pricing issue. This is about his past, not the least of which, again, remember, this is the same guy that paid that $2 million for the only copy of the latest Wu-Tang Clan album.
David, so very interesting, exciting news in the world of pharmaceuticals, and of course, Martin Shkreli, who's been dubbed by the media as the you know, the bad boy of the pharmaceutical industry. He was arrested today on suspicion of securities fraud, and it's not related to what he's really been criticized for over the last several weeks, which is hiking up the price of life-saving drugs through his company, Turing Pharmaceutical.
Shkreli's meteoric rise to fame as the young hotshot placed him as the head of two major hedge fund firms and a pharmaceutical company. The controversy really started when Martin raised the price of a life-saving prescription by 5,000% overnight. This sent a shockwave through the pharmaceutical industry. But even more so, the insurance companies. See, this was the most overlooked dynamic of the Martin Shkreli story. In the fine print of the prescription sale order, it stated that if a patient did not have insurance, they could have received the drug for free. So that means any homeless person, low-income citizen, or undocumented person could walk into a hospital and get this product for free.
He in his defense, said that the world of drug pricing is very complex, and he did say that with this particular drug, Daraprim, the one that you're talking about now, that they do, for those people who are really in need and don't have insurance, they do provide it at low to no cost. It's only for the larger insured carriers that they actually provide that bigger cost.
If you had insurance, you would pay your copay minimum like normal, and the insurance companies would have to foot. This would then boost the price of his healthcare companies that his separate hedge funds owned stock in. Double dip the chip. He was literally robbing the rich, and you can't rob the rich for long. But he's a Brooklyn kid, what do you expect?
You double dipped the chip. Double dipped? What are you talking about? You dipped the chip, you took a bite, and you dipped again. So? That's like putting your whole mouth right in the dip. From now on, when you take a chip, just take one dip and end it.
Shkreli was eventually sentenced to 7 years in federal prison for securities fraud. When you're not in the club, you're not in the club. Rightfully so. But what is this proclaimed eccentric financial guru really up to? And this is where we get into the title of our video, How Martin Shkreli Saved Hip-Hop Music. Well, the value of it at least. The RZA and Martin orchestrated one of the greatest gifts given to the hip-hop industry and its artists. It's the value we have been begging to have for decades. Year after year we hear the horror stories of artists being taken advantage of. Their hit song will be slanged around to every elevator, department store, and movie scene on earth, while the artist is discarded and mistreated.
Nah, you don't fuck with that, dude. Get that album back, man.
This may also be a good time to mention that the root of my name, Martin, comes from the word Mars, which is the Roman god of war. In many ways, I was born of and am built for the concept of war, which is not a battle that you are prepared for. Given my recent incarceration, allow me to take note that I have no intention to harm you physically, as my bail status would likely be revoked and this quarrel is distinctly below me. You are no Charlemagne.
What I'm caring about, you said you were gonna slap the fuck out of me. You really stand by that, bro?
Look, man, I have reason to believe that the first thing you would do is go to Jake if it happened anyway.
Looking at all the charging documents and all the indictments, there's nothing that actually said he committed any act. It was really that he was a part of a gang, which supposedly
I believe 100%.
Right.
I think
Okay.
Victim, etc.
Okay.
I don't think that shit can't happen to you.
All right. Yeah, but this one fucks me up too, right? What pleasure do you get in having a $2 million Wu-Tang album sitting on your fucking dresser like
that's the thing,
like a coaster, right? And then lifestyle, like if you're living such a modest lifestyle in terms of I'm guessing not only your house and other things, why the fuck do you buy that expensive purchase, right? Do you just love music that much? Because
I do. That's the thing. So $2 million for a Wu-Tang album, that's a $2 million donation to the Wu-Tang clan. It's not a stunting thing. Like, a little bit, sure.
But at the end of the day, you know, being able to say you have something nobody else has, it's obviously for the ego, it's wonderful.
And it's worse.
There are cats that do what I do, and they will never be happy until they own every Picasso.
You don't really know. I guess you had lunch with the guy once, right?
Yeah. They said we have another guy. He just came on board. He's interested. He's young. He's a Wu-Tang fan. He loves hip hop. Would you like to meet him? We had a brief lunch. He did mention his love of hip hop.
Right.
And I mentioned to him the importance that I think this record is, you know, to the legacy of hip hop. Not even 60 days later, he put a strong offer in.
Yeah. Do you have any like impressions of the guy? I mean, he's now like, many people think he's like a total jerk, and you know, he's. I mean, like I said, he's like the BBC I think called him the most hated man in America, right?
Wow.
A lot of people. The guy's behaved in a lot of ways that have upset a lot of people. Does it bother you that that guy has the one copy of this record? He even said the other day he hasn't listened to it yet. He doesn't know when he's going to listen to it.
Right.
You know, it's like he's kind of taunting people. I bought the one copy. I'm not even going to listen to the damn thing.
He bought it. He could do what he want, right? The power of art is that. So I could never discriminate if, you know, if the most greatest man in the world was the one who wanted to possess it, it would have been his objective. If my enemy came to an auction and was like, yo, I want that picture of RZA just to throw darts at it, it's being auctioned. So that's something that, you know, I can never, ever, at this age in my life and through the years I've been, I can never discriminate who appreciate art.
What Martin Shkreli actually did was transform the value of a hip-hop project from $9.99 to a Mona Lisa. This is beyond just monetary value. It validates the value of work, skill, and technology that it takes to make groundbreaking music. In a world of microwave trends and sounds, this move totally halts the brakes. It brings back the appreciation for the opportunity to intake and experience music. If you want to go see the Mona Lisa, you have to travel to Paris. If you want to see a certain Picasso, it might not even be in a museum. You might have to know the owner, and you might have to be invited on a special occasion to see it. Martin Shkreli finally gave you niggas what you asked for. Respected value. Rich people don't buy art just for cultural influence or emotional attachment. They buy art that they know will appreciate in value over time. It's like having a stock hanging on your wall. It's no different than sports cards or vintage cars, just to a higher level. And on July 27, 2021, hip-hop and rap music was officially taken to this level. Martin, who will be released in October of 2022, still owed the U.S. government just over $2 million of his $7.6 million in court fines and restitution. To cover the remainder of his balance, Shkreli's legal team requested that his one-of-one Wu-Tang album, which was seized by the government, to be auctioned off to foot the bill. The court said yes, and hip-hop history was made. The album was auctioned to an anonymous buyer for an undisclosed amount, but prosecutors said it was fully enough to cover the remainder of the balance. Martin Shkreli said, quote, I am pleased with the sale price. RIPODB. This means that the federal government of the United States has now confirmed that the price of one rap album can be worth at least $2 million. This is a major historic milestone in the journey of rap music. This has now moved the art of rap and hip-hop to the status level and respect everyone has asked for. This now opens a whole new market space. In the future you will have museums with one-of-one albums or songs, where you will have to travel to a location to hear it. Tourism, hotels, events, galleries, auctions. This is certification that rap music is not a fad or a phase. It's a permanent staple in the ecosystem of art. So if no one else will say it, I will, on behalf of hip-hop, I would like to thank the almighty Reza and Martin Shkreli for saving hip-hop and rap music.
A lot of people think that you are evil. I know you know that.
Yeah.
Are you evil?
Am I evil? No. I think I'm the opposite of evil, right? I mean, I think that almost it became a thing where I wanted to agree to do it, like participate in it and say, oh yeah, I am evil. You know, let me be the bad guy. And I started doing funny and fun stuff that maybe even extended that concept of, yeah, sure, I'm evil. I'll be the Bond villain. And but the reality is, you know, you're talking to someone that cares deeply about helping people's lives. Yeah, I'm a capitalist. I'd love to make an even bigger fortune than I've got now, but I'm not going to do it at the expense of a human life. You know, we sell our drugs for $1 to the government, but we sell our drugs for $7.50 a pill to Walmart, to ExxonMobil, to all these big companies, and they pay full price because fuck them. Why shouldn't they? And if I take that money and I'm using it to do research for dying kids, I think I'm a hero.
I don't really care about people hating me. Who gives a
Shkreli also angered people when he purchased the only copy of a highly anticipated Wu-Tang Clan album by promising he wouldn't release it publicly.
This was another installment. Black Businessman. See you soon.